All right, so I've got the body and the roof primed and ready to be painted its color. So I'm going to paint this part white. So, and the primer I used was, this is to me a surface primer. I think it's actually one of the best primers you can get. So it's, you know, I did after the primer dried, I did a quick run, sanding with 1500 grit. So it's ready to go. It's ready to prime. It's very smooth. And then for the body, I primed it in black, and I use this, which is Krylon spray paint. It's actually not really designed for models, but it is for plastic. I think the particle might be a little bit too big if you're using it for a small scale model, but this is a pretty large size model, so the particle size is not a factor. I'm going to paint the body yellow, and you may be wondering, if I'm painting the body yellow, then why am I priming this in black? Well, good question, because I'm doing an experiment on shadowing. So what I hope is that when I paint the yellow, the black panel lines and the black shadows on the details, on the surface details will come out more and will pop more. And the yellow would be more like a highlight. It's just an experiment. I like to try different things, different techniques to see how they come out. And then plus a secondary reason is because the plastic is very translucent, I noticed, and you can see a lot of light through it. So I wanted to paint something that will prevent the light from shining through. And then also the bottom, the wheel wells, so to speak, they should be black. So different number of reasons. I'll show you how it turns out. If it turns out well, then I'm happy. And if it doesn't, then well, it's a learning process. Basically, I don't consider myself a master modeler, so I'm always trying different things. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so the body's painted. As you can see, I painted it yellow. And I'm actually pretty happy with the black undercoat idea that I had, because like the details on the body actually came out better. They look more 3D, if that makes any sense. So that was the idea, and for once, my bright idea actually turned out to be pretty good. So, and you can see here in the back, the black paneling actually came out much more strong than if I just painted this yellow without the black undercoat. So anyway, there you have it. I'm debating whether or not I should put a clear coat on this. I probably will, just protect the paint, but cars in the 70s didn't really have clear coat. They had a one coat system. So, if I wanted to be realistic, then I would just leave it alone like this. But the paint is kind of soft, I think. So if you're going to be out there driving it, then it's gonna get scratched up and and chipped and all that kind of stuff pretty quickly. So that's why maybe a clear coat would be a good idea. Anyway, stand by. So hey guys, I saw some photos of the FJ40, and I think that there's these parts of the vehicle were bare metal, and so I just wanted to add a little extra detail and painted this silver. And while I was pulling off the paint or the masking tape, some of the yellow paint pulled off and just revealed the black undercoat. And I'm not actually, I don't mind it. I mean, normally this would freak me out, but I actually think it looks kind of cool. It looks, like it's chip paint from a real vehicle. And so I'm gonna not try to fix this. I'm gonna keep it like it is because it doesn't look bad. Anyway, so this is the dashboard. So it's two color. The top part's going to be black, which I masked off, and then this main part here is yellow, and then of course you have some bare metal details. So there you have it. Hey YouTube friends, this is going to be my results video for the painting of this WPL C34. As you can see, it actually paints up really nicely, and it looks really realistic, I think. I'm very happy with the outcome, except for a few things which I'm going to bring to your attention later on. But I mean, it looks like a real car almost. So anyway, I use Krylon paint, and I recommend that you use Krylon for this instead of regular model paint, because I think the plastic has a little nylon in there, so I don't think that regular paint will adhere to it very well. My understanding is Krylon, it really does bond to the plastic, and from what I can see, that is the case. That's what they advertise, and that is the case. So that's tip number one. And then to clear coat it, I use this, which is an automotive clear coat. I mean, you can get, I use this brand, but you can get pretty much any brand. It's called 2K Clear. The reason why is because it needs a catalyst to harden, and trust me, it is very hard. I mean, it's like super hard and super durable, because it's the same thing you would use on a real car. And then along that same line, it actually produces a very deep shine. As you can see, this is probably like the shiniest that any FJ40 has ever been. I don't think real FJ40s would ever get this shiny. But so those are the good parts. So the bad part is it's not something the fault of the model. It's actually my fault. And you can see in previous clips that I painted each component separately. I thought that would be easier to do, and it was. But here's the problem: is that when I actually assembled it, because of the thickness of the paint, I mean, especially the clear coat, I mean, we're talking about there's probably about I would say like at least 6 layers of paint on this vehicle, and maybe and 2 layers of clear coat. So it's pretty thick. I mean, so what that causes is that the parts don't align properly. Like you can see here, this is the part that actually holds the door together, and it protrudes because there's just too much paint. And then you can see it's not quite aligned because this part right here, it's too thick. So what I would need to do is I'm going to have to take this apart and scrape off some of the paint so that it would fit better. Otherwise, you know, it's just gonna look weird. I mean, you know, the door closes, but obviously, I mean, I don't think that the fitment for this vehicle was that great in the first place, but I just made it worse with my paint. Just word to the wise, so that, you know, if you do plan to paint this kit, you know, I want you to understand what you're getting yourself into, and I do recommend next time, if I do this next time, that I would actually keep I would assemble the body before I painted it. And I actually did this with the hood, and it actually worked out fine. So I kept the hood on the body, and you know, and it worked out fine. It didn't have any fitment problems afterwards. So word to the wise. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what it looked like in the end when it's all been painted. And I would have to say, you know, I'm pretty happy with it. So, and one last thing, these parts right here, I tried to paint them, you know, it came in black, but I wouldn't even bother next time because they are nylon, and then there's nothing that's gonna adhere to it. So, you know, I mean, already I can see some of the flaking in the paint, so don't even bother. Not once I, you know, try to be clever and try to be cool and, you know, paint them to make them look better, but in the end, it didn't really, you know, it's not gonna help because the paint's gonna flake off very quickly. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, then please like and subscribe, and so that inspires me to create more videos in the future. Talk to you later.